All right. We're gonna do some testing here and make sure that we are all ready to go. Let's pull up one of my channels here and make sure. I want to check my stream health as well, because it was rough earlier today. It was rough. But DOA from the early years of protesting against the J6ers Freedom Corner and also the 1776 RM. Words, they can be difficult sometimes. Well, he is once again on the outs with the group of people that he has been protesting with. And I found a streamer who's got all the details. And so we're going to check it out for the first time in a long time. See what it is that he's been up to that's got some people not very happy. But I gotta make sure that all my sound here is even working right. Yep, my sound is working. All right. So, I haven't been paying too much attention to him over the last year or so. After he had his little falling out and just got weird, I was just kind of like, eh. But this is Streets Calls Out DOA for Destroy Scientology Protest Movement. This is from a YouTube page called Growing Up in Scientology, and they've got 237,000 subscribers. And this is a video that he's in the middle of being live in now, and we're going to go ahead and start near the beginning. And remember, he's on the outs with Lori and everybody else. And the way that whole thing came about, it really didn't make sense. I couldn't figure out exactly why he was mad at anybody, why people were mad at him. It was all just kind of weird. And it was all really just DOA being DOA. And he ended up ruining for himself and everybody else something that was pretty cool and, had some potential. And so, yeah, now that's all messed up and that's gone because DOA is just, I don't know, he does his own thing.
Your doctor about those. All right, guys, let's get down to business. Let's get down to what we do here. We talk about Scientology stuff. And you guys know that for a long time, the Scientology protest movement is something that's been near and dear to my heart. I didn't start it. Streets LA started it. William Good, the Good Father. Let me just show you his channel right.
So that name apparently is going to be familiar, and let's make sure that we pause that here. So apparently, Streets LA is what he's called, but his channel specifically is called Scientology Audit. And so that's kind of what DOA has been up to over the last couple of years. He's been, the last maybe year and a half or so, he's been involved with trying to protest Scientology. And I think that he spent some time, I thought at one point he was out in Chicago. But I guess at some point he's made himself place place for himself in LA as well. And so there's going to be some interesting things here said about all of this here. So let's get back to it.
Right here, Scientology audit, Streets LA. He has not uploaded to this channel for quite a while, and he's been focusing on his other channel, Film the Police, which just broke 100,000 subscribers after only 500 in some videos. Pretty fantastic. The reason I'm highlighting this video tonight is because Streets is the guy that got the whole daggone thing started. Streets started the Scientology protest movement. And I'm talking about the online streaming Scientology protest movement. Obviously, there's been Scientology protesters for decades and decades and decades. That movement, well, Streets did a video a day or two ago where he basically talked about how the movement has been destroyed and that nobody is happier about this than Scientology and OSA, the Office of Special Affairs. And he talks about his opinion on how that happened and who did it. And I'm going to share an edited version of his video with you tonight. His video is 25 minutes long, and it's I've condensed it down to the relevant information. You can go find the video on his channel. You guys can let me know in the live chat and even in the comment section for the replay crew if you agree that Streets is saying what I'm saying he's saying, but don't take my word for it, guys. I'm going to share the video with you. And let's see, what is the best way to do this? If I share it this way. Oh, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Oh, you know what? Let me give a little bit more of an intro here. Because obviously, it's incorrect to use, all protesters are not a monolith. And the truth is, there's still a lot of really amazing, excellent, independent protesters out there who are focusing on the reason for being out there in the first place, which is to protest Scientology, and doing it in a way that is inclusive and that does not alienate people and does not destroy the goodwill that the.
And see, here's the thing. Scientology, I do not consider that a good organization. I consider that an organization that has destroyed lives. There are probably a lot of things to actively go after them for and to get on them for. I do not I consider them a cult. I do not and I just hear a lot, and they're apparently what they the way what they do to children is just horrible. What they've done to Leah Remini is just horrible. And sometimes I have to sit down at another time and really put down my thoughts and spell out all the different things that they're accused of. But a majority of it really seems to be true. And DOA chose to attach himself and to feed off of that, similar to what he did to 1776 RM, and calling out the people for the terrible things that they did, like letting pedos within the group. Well, at some point, the people that we all knew for sure were pedos, they left. They didn't remain with the group, and so I think they accomplished a good thing there. But DOA just has a way of turning people against one another and creating division when he claims that he's wanting to try to bring people together over a common cause. And it's more about how much money that he can make rather than, really doing anything to help anyone, in my opinion.
Movement started out to begin with. And I'm not naming any names because I don't want to put anyone in anyone's crosshairs, which, by the way, is part of the whole damn problem. Okay. So I just wanted to begin. It's not, the problem isn't everywhere. The problem starts in Los Angeles, emanates out to places like Chicago and Austin, and then reverberates elsewhere to places like Denmark and Australia. And it's become a worldwide problem. But the problem really is starting from Los Angeles. So let's see what Streets has to say about this, and I'll provide my own commentary as well.
Want me to speak out about accountability? If you're going to, you guys don't want me to speak out about accountability. If you're going to make these demands of me, I'll tell the shit about yourself. I got some worse shit. Talking about getting somebody canceled. If you're going to sit there and make demands that need to be then it could come back around on you. Do you want that? Think twice. And specifically, I'm talking about DOA. Think twice.
Oh, okay, good. I realize I'm just going to let the words play as much as I can, but I want to set it up properly. Streets is responding to this phenomena that has become nonstop in the protest community. And then it's also happened in the regular SPTV community from people like Nora Ames. In fact, mostly Nora Ames. Of someone decides that they don't like a particular person, and they select that person for cancellation or destruction, and then demand everybody else line up with them against that person, or else they will be called out for not participating. It's basically the online version of witch hunts. And usually people leave Streets out of it because you don't want to fuck with Streets, okay? But DOA made the mistake of trying to bring Streets into it, and that's kind of what started this whole thing. So here we go. By the way, is Marilyn in the chat? Marilyn, if you're in the chat, is Marilyn in the chat? Marilyn, I did not want you to get any shit tonight for being one of my moderators. I'm sorry I didn't let you know ahead of time if you're wondering why you're not a moderator. Look, people have been getting absolutely smeared just for being my friend. And Marilyn's gotten it worse than almost anyone. So, Marilyn, I should have told you beforehand, Marilyn. So in case that's a question, I just wanted to mention that. I didn't know if you were going to join tonight, Marilyn. I assumed you weren't going to join.
Twice.
Okay, here we go.
You guys don't want me to speak out about accountability. If you're going to make these demands of me, I'll tell the shit about yourself. I got some worse shit. Talking about getting somebody canceled. If you're going to sit there and make demands that, need to be accountable, then it could come back around on you. Do you want that? Think twice. And specifically, I'm talking about DOA. Think twice. Don't fucking make videos. Streets needs to speak up. I'll start. Okay, you know what? Fuck it. While I'm here, let's speak up. What happened to Josiah's money? Talking about leadership and accountability. What happened to that $6,500 you spent on that lawyer? What happened to that money? Don't want to talk about.
Oh, so money is involved, huh?
That, do you want to talk about that? I'm gonna tell you where that money went. Remember when Danny had that fucked up lawyer that wanted him to take a plea deal against the scooter guy? Remember that? Who DOA says was part of a plant with 86 GOP, because 86 GOP paid for it. So he said 86 GOP paid for it. This lawyer is a plant, and this proves he's a plant. You know who that lawyer? You know the last time anybody saw that lawyer? A couple of weeks ago, when DOA hired him, right, Scott? You hired him with the money you raised through GoFundMe for Josiah. So here you are saying that 86 GOP is, this proves he's a plant. He hired this fucked up lawyer, and you hired the literal, let me see, the literal same lawyer, the same one. And now you say, we can't use him anymore. The money's gone. So now you come to me and say, hey, can you fix it? I'm not fixing shit. You fix it.
I've got a comment on this. And I have to decide what commentary deserves to be inserted.
Please comment.
In the
Please tell us more.
And what deserves to be saved for afterwards. But this is what it is. The entire destruction of the protest movement started with Scott calling out 86 GOP, a guy who was the biggest public financial supporter of the protesters. And I just mean making super chats on the channels. Like, it doesn't get more public and obvious than that. There's nothing surreptitious or underhanded about it.
Well, you got to understand, if he was doing something to be considered better or a bigger contributor to things than what Scott is, Scott can't have that. Scott can't have anybody else being considered the status quo. And he also thrives on there being conflict. He thrives on it. He thrives on using that to manipulate people. Yeah, that's just who Scott is. And I wish that I could have warned these people. that he's not in it for the greater good. He's in it for himself. And I wish I could have, wish it would have been possible for me to warn this dude and just be like, look back at his past controversies and decide if this was somebody that you want to trust, you want to let in your group. And the thing of it is, it's like you really can't gatekeep who should be allowed to protest against this. But maybe you shouldn't have aligned yourself so closely with him. There, it would have been impossible to kind of keep him at arm's length and not assume that he can be trusted. Be like, you do your own thing, we'll do our own thing.
And in addition to making a lot of super chats, 86 GOP had provided a significant amount of money to buy all the materials needed for what was going to basically be an Occupy L. Ron Hubbard Way event. And at one point, and of course, it's not crazy. It's not crazy to think that the person who's providing a lot of money for something wants to have input on things. Well, at one point, 86 GOP and Scott Hochstetter, DOA, disagreed on the way something was supposed to be, the way 86 wanted something to be handled. And 86 said, okay, you go your way. I'm out. I'm going to stop providing funding. And all of a sudden, instead of being like, okay, we go our separate ways, Scott selected 86 for public destruction and started accusing him of being a Scientology plant. Now, I wasn't going to let that go. Okay, because I defend my friends. I don't let my friends get bullied online without coming to their defense. And then Scott said, oh, that would be interesting. Let's now turn this into a circus and we'll go after Aaron and his foundation. Okay, but one of the things that happened that Scott decided to say was evidence that 86 was a plant is that one of the protesters, Danny, was in a little bit of legal trouble and he needed a lawyer. 86 GOP paid for the lawyer. The lawyer was trying to get Danny to take some sort of a settlement, and it might have prevented Danny from being able to protest, and Scott wasn't happy with this. And Scott was saying that 86 GOP was working with Scientology and this lawyer to sabotage Danny and the protesters. Scott has been going on and on about this for months and months and months. And then recently, when Scott took money that he raised from all of you and went to go hire a lawyer to represent Josiah, he hired the exact same lawyer that he said was working with Scientology. Now, does this make Scott a plant? Of course not. 86 GOP was never a plant either. Scott just likes destruction.
Really?
And he showed himself by...
What's sad is how long it took you to figure this out. He likes destruction. He likes chaos. He likes being the center of the attention. And that guy that was providing for all the money and wanted to call the shots, he didn't like that. He wanted to be the big guy on campus. Not this GOP 86 or whatever his name is. That's not what he wanted. It's probably was the source of all the drama between him and AP, and I think maybe Lori too. Was his desire to be the big man on campus, the one that is in charge, the one that's the hero that's going to save us all. But he does the dumbass thing and plays his cards by hiring the same lawyer that he's saying couldn't be trusted.
Accidentally doing the same thing that 86 did, which was hire an attorney that had really good online reviews, but in the end wasn't that great. Not a big deal. Not that scandalous. Things happen. Mistakes are made. It's not a big deal. Anyway, just wanted to provide that context. Here we go.
Talking about accountability. Don't put my name in shit. I'm telling you, you shouldn't have put my fucking name in it. Hey, if we want to go, let's go further. While I'm here, you want to put my name in shit. Remember when the restraining order with La Poubelle with
Yeah, we don't want to.
Francois when she first tried to get it. One of Scott's mods reached out to me and said, hey, he's stressed out. He doesn't have a lawyer, and she's made like 50 allegations against him. He needs help. So I went to Dorothy. I said, Dorothy, do you mind taking care of him on this? I'll work on getting you the retainer and stuff. She, as a favor, she handled it for Scott. Then afterwards, they said, okay, you know what, we'll make it work, and we'll slap that too. Even though it's two different cases, we'll combine them, and the circumstances are different. But we'll handle it. She said, but can I trust him? I said, yeah, he's gonna walk a fine line, but he's not gonna do anything illegal. So you don't have to worry about him fucking up the case. He's not gonna fuck it up. I get a call from her early in the morning one day. She's like, what the hell is going on? All hell's breaking loose. What's going on? I'm like, what do you mean? 86 GOP called me up and said that he is no longer going to support Scott. He's no longer paying for Scott's legal fees because I guess 86 GOP was going to step in. And I'm like, don't worry about it and shit. We'll get something fixed up. I didn't know. I figured we'll find a way. Later on that day, that's when DOA started going off on 86 GOP. So it's like he kept on saying 86 GOP. 86 GOP. I don't like the fact how he's trying to control people with money. I'm no longer going to accept the money. He cut you off. Your whole beef started because he cut you off. He gave more money to you than anybody else. He cut you off. He said, I'm not going to pay for your shit anymore. I'm not giving you any more money. And that's when you said, okay, no good. No, this guy is no good. This guy is no good. Everybody, don't fuck with him. Don't fuck with 86 GOP. He's a plant. Because he cut you off, because he wasn't giving you money anymore. But then you even went further. Then he said he was still going to pay for Danny's case. And then you started throwing around that shit about how, $10,000 is too much. At the same time, while Dorothy is literally handing your case for La Poubelle for free, for $0. You never paid a single dollar. You never paid a single dollar, no retainer. Unlike me, I got to pay a retainer for my own lawyer. You didn't pay a retainer. And as she's handling your slap case, you're going to disrespect her by saying $10,000 is too much. Nobody should have to pay that. Fucking up Danny's situation.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Scott tried to get the entire community to turn against GOP for being a Scientology plant only after 86 GOP told Scott he wasn't going to continue funding his activities. And Scott was so jealous and angry that 86 GOP was still paying for Danny's defense. And by the way, the same lawyer that was representing Streets and Scott was representing Danny. The difference is that Danny was paying for the lawyer for his representation, and Scott wasn't paying a cent for his representation. Scott didn't want anyone to know that he was being represented for free, that he was piggybacking on Streets' dime. Okay. So the lawyer that's representing Scott for completely free as a favor to Streets is also representing Danny. But 86 GOP is paying for Danny's representation. Scott comes out and says $10,000 is way too expensive. He's shitting on the value of the lawyer who's representing him for free. That is how low Scott will go to fuel conflict that is purely self-motivated. All right.
Yeah, it's all self-motivating. Like, what? Is he really figuring out that this is who DOA is for the first time? Okay.
Let's keep going.
So again, you're gonna come to me and the drum on how we need to. Well, then it comes back at you, and then you guys come to me and say, "Hey, we need help with Josiah. He needs a new lawyer." After you guys fucked up the money, you raise that money for him, and then that's another thing, man. Stop putting me in this shit. Listen, man, the Josiah stuff is complicated. Okay, you weren't here when the shit was going down with Josiah, when he was holding a panel discussions on his TikTok with the skateboard guy, and they were sitting there mocking my son's death. You weren't there when that happened. You weren't there when they were on that TikTok mocking me and Jessica, claiming that they both got our channels taken down. You weren't here. You weren't here when he was trying to beat up LA Cam. You weren't here. And the sad part is I had been trying to help out Josiah. But you keep on running around for the last couple months. Why aren't you insinuating me that I should be helping out? I've done enough for Josiah. You don't even know what the hell happened. I wanted to leave it quiet because Josiah doesn't need to be. And I'm saying right now, guys, don't hold that shit against Josiah. Okay? I forgave him. We shouldn't even have to be talking about this, but he keeps on bringing it up about how everybody needs to do more. I did more. I did enough. And then you raised the money and you fucked up the 6,500, and now I got to come in to the rescue. What the hell? I want nothing to do with it. I want nothing to do with anybody's GoFundMes. GoFundMes have been abused. Now, again, you sitting there saying 86 GOP is a plant because he got that lawyer for Danny, but you got the same lawyer. Are you a plant? Is that the standard now? And 86 GOP is a plant because you didn't like the way he was trying to control people's money. You said that after he cut off your money. After he said, I am no longer paying for any of your shit, then suddenly he's a plant, and all the other people you called plants. Like I said, when I was over here at the test center and I run a protest, I bring people in. People come. You ran people away. You're talking about accountability. Don't bring my name in. I told you, don't bring my fucking name in it. And if you're going to demand accountability, make sure your shit is right. Tell everybody, leave me the fuck out of your shit. I don't want nothing to do with this. You guys are all fucking crazy. But I've held my tongue. You know, a lot of people were hurt by the accusations that they're a plant. We in LA, Mindy was called a plant. But man, don't fake this whole shit about it's about accountability. It's about guys want to fight. Go.
Let me jump in here real quick. I cannot help but point out the only people in this entire community that have tried to hang the label of Scientology plant around the necks of others is this guy who's never even been in Scientology and showed up to this protest movement about halfway through. Do you see any former Scientologists who are protesting and are
Oh, goodness. Here goes my internet connection again.
Paranoid and obsessed and pointing fingers and calling people plants? No. It's just Scott, DOA.
Sorry, guys.
And
not much I can do about my internet
some reason
connection.
seem to go along with whoever he wants to point fingers at. You don't see, I mean, honestly, even I'm going to try not to mention people because I'm sure people would rather I not bring their names into the video if not necessary. But it's like, do you even see?
Oh man, come on.
Has Streets ever called anyone a plant? And what would it matter?
So saying, what would it matter if he was?
If somebody was a plant. Like, what's with the obsession of trying to turn the community against someone you don't like by calling them a plant? I think the only person I've ever said was a plant was Zero Dark Tony. And that's because he literally is. But it's just a technique to create chaos. It's I'm gonna call it like the chaos economy, the train wreck economy. And it started everything.
What the fuck is going on with my system?
Beautiful and cooperative and
This
supportive
was
and
going
fun,
on earlier today
and
as
people were
well.
helping everyone and people were promoting each other, and it was inclusive and it was growing and more people wanted to join it and people wanted to support it. And then Scott had his money cut off. And then he said, you know what? I'll take the whole fucking thing down with me because I don't need a community. I don't have a home. I don't have a job. I don't have a family to support. I shit in a bucket. I don't need any of this. I can pay my gas bill, my for my RV. I can pay my gas bill with a few super chats from people who just love watching Rome burn. And that's good enough for me. And that's all I care about. Okay. Mm-hmm. The protesting used to be being done in a way where it was actually fun and inclusive. Now it's just screaming at old ladies who are eating sandwiches with their children on L. Ron Hubbard Way. Like it's literally disgusting. I try to watch it every now and then. I just can't. It's offensive. You know, I'll give you just to give a shout out to my Clearwater crew. The protest scene in Clearwater, alive and well, fun, inclusive. People want to come out and join us. And there's a reason for that. And we'll talk about that after this video is done. Here we go.
Go fight. Don't draw me into it. I got enough damn fights over some childish high school bullshit, and I've got to answer for. I have to answer for everybody's shit who in Scientology now. Every Scientology protester who does anything, I got to answer for it. Do you know how much fuck?
This is just ridiculous that this keeps happening. Thought there was supposed to be this thing. Supposed to be. I should not be having any problems right now. None. I don't know what keeps causing this, but this has been a horrible issue. And the thing of it is I wasn't even getting anything from this site. If it's supposed to have Stream Health. And they told nothing about my connection being bad. It's crazy. Sorry, so it's gonna take me a minute, you guys. I don't know if it's because of the snowstorms that we've had today, but I might have to completely exit out of this because this is all. I'm sorry, guys. I'm thinking that the issue is the weather here in Ohio right now. Okay, I think I'm gonna go roughly right there, and I think that will be fine. That'll be enough.
And I run a protest, I bring people in. People come. You ran people away. You're talking about accountability. Don't bring my name in. I told you, don't bring my fucking name in it. And if if you're going to demand accountability, make sure your shit is right. Tell everybody, leave me the fuck out of your shit. I don't want nothing to do with this. You guys are all fucking crazy. But I've held my tongue. You know, a lot of people were hurt by the accusations that they're a plant. We in LA, Mindy was called a plant. But man, don't fake this whole shit about it's about accountability. It's about you want to fight. Go.
Let me jump in here real quick. I cannot help but point out the only people in this entire community that have tried to hang the label of Scientology plant around the necks of others is this guy who's never even been in Scientology and showed up to this protest movement about halfway through. Do you see any former Scientologists who are protesting and are paranoid and obsessed and pointing fingers and calling people plants? No. It's just Scott, DOA, and the people who, for some reason, seem to go along with whoever he wants to point fingers at. You don't see, I mean, honestly, even I'm going to try not to mention people because I'm sure people would rather I not bring their names into the video if not necessary. But it's like, do you even see has Streets ever called anyone a plant? And what would it matter if somebody was a plant? Like,
I don't know. I mean, the only way that I can see it mattering if somebody is a plant, if they're constantly undermining what you're doing, if you have reasons to believe that there's the secret thing is that you don't want other people to know. Like if you were in a militia and you have reason to believe that somebody is communicating with the FBI, that person being a plant would be a problem. Basically, that person is an undercover informant. You know, that would be an issue. But a situation like this, like, what is the plant's purpose, I guess?
What's with the obsession of trying to turn the community against someone you don't like by calling them a plant? I think the only person I've ever said was a plant was Zero Dark Tony. And that's because he literally is. But it's just a technique to create chaos.
So, I mean, I will say this, as long as you're the one calling somebody a plant, it's okay, though. I mean, whatever.
It's I'm gonna call it like the chaos economy, the train wreck economy. And it started. Everything in the protest movement was absolutely beautiful and cooperative and supportive and fun, and people were helping everyone and people were promoting each other, and it was inclusive and it was growing, and more people wanted to join it and people wanted to support it. And then Scott had his money cut off. And then he said, you know what? I'll take the whole fucking thing down with me because I don't need a community. I don't have a home. I don't have a job. I don't have a family to support. I shit in a bucket. I don't need any of this. I can pay my gas bill, my for my RV. I can pay my gas bill with a few super chats from people who just love watching Rome burn. And that's good enough for me. And that's all I care about. Okay. The protesting used to be being done in a way where it was actually fun and inclusive. Now it's just screaming at old ladies who are eating sandwiches with their children on L. Ron Hubbard Way. Like it's literally disgusting. I try to watch it every now and then. I just can't. It's offensive. You know, I'll give you just to give a shout out to my Clearwater crew. The Clearwater, the protest scene in Clearwater, alive
really all
and well,
I know to tell
fun,
you.
Inclusive. People want to come out and join us, and there's a reason for that, and we'll talk about that after this video is done. Here we go.
Go fight. Don't draw me into it. I got enough damn fights over some childish high school bullshit, and I've got to answer for. I have to answer for everybody's shit who in Scientology now. Every Scientology protester who does anything, I got to answer for it. Do you know how much fucked up shit is going on behind the scenes? You want to talk about accountability and leadership? Make sure your accountability is right too. Start with yourself. Don't start with me with this shit. Put me up in some shit. Fuck out of here. So accountability, start off by telling, hey, how am I going to replace that 6,500 that you fucked up with Josiah? But how do you get him the same damn lawyer as the one from before? How do you get him the same lawyer? How does it even happen? If it was reversed, if somebody else had done it, you'd be calling them a plant for doing that. You'd be saying, oh, they're a bad actor. How could they do? You'd be first one saying, how could they get them the same lawyer? How could this do? How did this happen? They're a plant. Told you, I'm so sick of Scientology protesters. The only one who's winning right now, man, Scientology is winning really well right now. Great job, Osa. You guys have done a great job. It's Osa's for the win. Osa for the win. They started potting. Motherfuckers just sit there and fall for it. Turn protester versus protester. That's where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
Not where I'm at. I don't give a fuck. Fuck everybody. None of this. None of this shit. None of this drama aids in hurting Scientology. None of it. It helps Scientology. None of this should help. None of this is hurting them. Jennifer is watching right now, clapping her hands. She's doing fucking high fives with Kendrick Moxon. Like, yeah, we got him. We killed him. We killed the movement. And we got them to do it for us.
That was powerful. We killed the movement, or we got them to kill the movement. We killed the movement. We got them to do it for us. He said protester versus protester. Guys, it doesn't matter if protesters don't like other protesters, who gives a damn? It's when the content, which is supposed to be about exposing Scientology, protesting Scientology, bringing eyeballs onto the Scientology issue. It's a family-destroying human trafficking cult. That's supposed to be the purpose of the content, other than the fact that everybody does content for their own reasons. Theoretically speaking, on the macro level, high level, that's supposed to be the purpose. Hey, look at what a family-destroying human trafficking cult Scientology is. Look at how they cover up child SA. Look at all these horrible abusive practices. Let's get some eyeballs. Protester versus protester is the problem. The content becomes protester versus protester. And the thing is, Scientology has a strategy when it comes to critic spaces. Because back in the day, before there was actually a protest scene, there was it was like online chat boards is where the former Scientologists and former Sea Org members would converge and share war stories and share negative information about their experiences that Scientology didn't want people, they didn't want to get exposure. And Scientology's strategy with it was, this is as explained by Tori Magoo, who was on the inside at that time, to make the spaces so dirty and muddy and disgusting and toxic that people didn't want to be in the spaces. So not only would it not attract more people, it would expel people. And Streets is about to make that point of how when Streets was out there doing his thing, it would attract more and more and more and more people. And then Scott showed up, and when he decided to turn it into a protester versus protester war, and I don't know what really fucking kills me is seeing this guy call out second gen former Scientologists, and I'm not talking about myself, who are out there protesting and calling them out as bad actors. People who were born and raised in this thing and are out there protesting the cult that they were born and raised in, trying to mind their own damn business, who every now and then say something about how destructive DOA is being to the community scene. And then DOA, who's never had a damn thing to do with Scientology, will put these people on blast for hours in his live streams. And you other fucking protesters support this shit. This is why I don't support you anymore. I'm telling it like it is. What do I have to lose? Am I going to lose subscribers?
Damn.
You've been paying attention? This is why I don't support you anymore. Because you're not just out there protesting.
Damn.
You're supporting a guy who's destroying the community of protesters. And I'm telling you, for any protesters who want to protest Scientology in an inclusive way and will not buy in to the destruction and division that DOA literally comes in his pants over, I will support you if you want my support. The protest scene in some way isn't capable of being destroyed by one person because one person isn't in charge of it. Okay. 100 protesters could pop up tomorrow and start doing it for the right reasons and not buy into the divisive, fucking creator on creator, protester on protester or bullshit. And the scene would be completely back, and would have my full support, whether you wanted it or not. I'd give it to you. Stop letting this fucking asshole homeless creep that shits in a fucking bucket and doesn't care about you or anyone else destroy what you guys have been doing, because it is being destroyed.
This is vicious. Oh my god. This man is vicious. Oh my goodness.
It is being destroyed. Let's see what else he's got to say.
And that other one, I don't even know that lady's name. She's just a fucking weirdo herself. She's just obsessed. She wanted, again, they want to get their lick back against Aaron. Anybody who's got a beef with Aaron, like I said, though, man, you're going to say 86 GOP is a plant, but you didn't tell the first part of the story. You didn't tell the first part of the story. He cut you off, and then hours later, that's when you started saying he's a plant. I know this. I was the only one that knew this. I kept my mouth shut. Even though you fucking disrespected Dorothy by saying that she's way too expensive, as she was working for you for free. And then you're gonna say that, oh, she's not worth the $10,000. That's crazy. As you never spent one day in court for Francois' case. You never had to. You didn't have to. Neither did I. I only came there for the fee hearing. You never had to because they handle everything for you. They handle it from beginning to end. You just have a clear mind, go about your business, doing your stuff, and they handled it. And then you're gonna sit there and say that she's too expensive. Why? Because 86 GOP wasn't gonna pay for your other case. Come on, man. It's bullshit. That's like talk about some real treacherous shit. But I kept my mouth shut. Don't go on fucking some public shit, some live talking about how Streets needs to stand up and using that's her name, Nora. The hell, I don't know this lady. The only thing I know about her, I've seen like maybe 2 minutes of video, and every time I see her, she's crying about something. I'm like, all right, let me get the fuck away from this. This is crazy. And said it was good that Nora called me. I didn't even know she called me. I don't even know who this person is. What the fuck is she calling me at? Who is she? I don't know her. No, seriously, how do you think I'm gonna react? How do you think that anybody can ever fucking say something about me and I'm not gonna fucking clap back? You think I'm just gonna take it? Whoever this Nora person is, you think I'm just gonna take it? Mind your fucking business. Go get some mental health help. Every time I see every clip I see, maybe I don't know if it's representative of all her shit, but I see her crying and going off my errand. That's what I see. I don't have anything. I haven't given a fuck about Scientology in how many months?
All right, yeah, we'll back it up. The truth is, Nora Ames is to, there's the YouTube community of Scientology content creators to what Scott is to the protest community. Nora sets her sights on someone she wants destroyed and then does 16 hours of live stream a day calling out anyone who refuses to line up next to her and completely condemn that person. It doesn't matter if it's Mike Rinder or Mitch Brisker or me or Zero Dark Tony or Reddit. It doesn't matter. All of the content is about isolation, targeting, destruction, witch hunt, tribalism. I'm calling it the train wreck economy. And by the way, I would be remiss if I did not call you out, Nora, for making money on the death of Mike Rinder yesterday. I did not think that you could possibly stoop that low. Okay. Anyone who's been watching my channel for the last year knows that me and Mike Rinder got a lot of beef. Okay. And I at least had the humanity to just post his death announcement and encourage people to donate to Mike's son's college fund. I'll be goddamned if I was going to do a fucking video making money on the death of a guy who was not my friend. You, Nora, Mike has very clearly been in hospice and dying for the last 6 weeks. You have fucking shit on this man's name every single fucking day for the last 6 weeks and laughed about it. And you have the audacity to put money in your fucking pocket on his death. That was I thought there's no way Nora's gonna go fucking live today and get fucking super chats and ad money crying about the death of a person she's been calling a criminal every single day. Guys, I've got my beef with Mike Rinder. There's a couple, specific things I'll probably continue to, now's not the time, but there will be things. Okay. But I have not run this man's name into the fucking ground every single day for the last 6 weeks, much less the last year the way Nora has. And she made money on this man's fucking death yesterday. Nora, you should take every fucking cent you made yesterday and donate that money to Mike's son's college fund. You're fucking disgusting. Respectful.
Well, you can't.
All right, let's keep.
You can't control how other people are going to use their streams. And honestly, there's like they're probably the way that she went about it was tacky. But I mean, you can only spend so much time and energy getting upset over how these people choose to conduct themselves.
Keep going.
When have you seen me protest Scientology? What, the parade? Before that, when was the last time? 7 months before that? I don't have anything to do with this shit. I walked away from this shit a long time ago. I mean, don't be wrong. Every day on Hollywood Boulevard, I go and try to fuck with them a little bit. But I don't have to film it. I don't have to put it on live. That was another thing. You went to the live to go get an update on Solomon's case at the city attorney. You didn't ask Solomon if you could do it first. And then it was just pointless because they will never tell you. You're not even the victim. They're never going to tell you. So all that did is it made ZT think he had no charges pending. They weren't going to do anything. And so it unleashed him to go even harder. That's the end result, is he went harder on Solomon. Guys, I'll say this again. I don't give a fuck, man. I don't give a fuck about seriously, like I'm not, the chances of me going live on Scientology this year are so slim. Anyway, I'm done. Shout out to the mods.
There we go. There we go. Oops. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Nora's probably firing up her live stream right now to do another 5-hour reaction video to my video, because that's how it goes, you guys. And that's okay. It doesn't matter to me. She's perfectly welcome to make a little pretty penny. You see, there's a difference. I talk about Scientology. Nora talks about me. We are not the same. So guys, I wanted you, I got a lot of starred comments I'm going to go through. I did see some comments.
You're both
like,
making
he called you out as well.
money off of the same issue.
I think the street, you know, I won't bring streets into anything. I won't bring streets into anything. There's a lot of people who think that the streets has taken back everything that he said. The video is still on his channel. Streets has not taken back anything that he said. Now, in the video, remember, this is an edited version of the video. Streets made it clear. He says, I adore Scott. He says, I adore Scott. I love his energy. I love how, you know, he'll be the first one to jump in to get someone's back in a protest situation. He's like, I like how he protests when he's protesting. But this thing, and I'm putting too many words in Street's mouth because that's not exactly what he said. But what he called him out for was trying to put people on blast for not taking a stand on interpersonal drama and issues that have nothing to do with Scientology. And there's actually a couple other streams that Streets has done this week commenting on all of this stuff, where he's like, yeah, let me know when you guys are ready to get back to talking about Scientology instead of talking about each other. And that's what it comes down to. And the problem is, Scott will try to figure out how to justify how demanding that people make a very big deal about interpersonal issues is somehow productive. I forgot to put all my stuff on Do Not Disturb here. Is somehow relevant to Scientology. We must do this in order to do this, or if we're going to do this, we have to do this. It's all part of the disaster economy, the chaos economy, the train wreck economy. When the fucking guy who started the entire thing, who grew his channel to be the biggest channel in the shortest amount of time, Streets' channel is bigger than mine. And when he's the one telling you, you're fucking it all up, you're lying on people's names, you're lying, you're calling people plants, you're not being honest. When he tells you you're fucking it up, you're fucking it up. And all you other people who are supporting what he's doing, you're fucking it up as well. And that's why I don't support you, and I never will. All you guys who are in the protest community who support Scott's destructive way of going about things, I will never, ever support you. And I haven't for a while, and I never will. And don't wonder why, because you know why. And I want to reiterate, anyone else who pops up, anyone who wants to, first of all, just mind your own business, stay in your lane and do what you're doing. You don't have to comment on Scott. Happy to support you. But if you want to really put an exclamation point on it, anyone who wants to make it clear that they completely understand, recognize, and reject Scott's effort to destroy this community for his own good, I'm happy to support you guys as well. Happy to support you. Happy to do it. Nothing makes me happier than figuring out other ways to use this platform to be even more helpful than just putting out my own videos. It's supposed to be like a symbiotic relationship. I help you, you doing what you do helps me. It's supposed to, it used to be a perfect equation. Until Scott decided to select people for destruction, and then Nora realized you can make some money doing that as well when no one will watch your Scientology videos. When no one will watch your Scientology videos, maybe they'll watch your videos about people who do Scientology videos, you know? Okay, let's see. We got a lot of starred comments, but before we get to that, let me make sure there was no other things in my notes. No, that's pretty much it. All right, guys, let's do this. Starred comments. Here we go. Jill Davidson, wonderful to see you in here. Thank you so much. I ain't say that. Still, one of my new favoriteest screen names. I eat when I'm anxious. All diets don't work for everyone. Yeah, I'm the opposite. I eat when I'm bored. I do not eat when I'm anxious. Sorry to hear that. I ain't say that. Wonderful popcorn SP. Glad to catch alive. We were snowed in 14 inches deep here in Ohio. Wonderful popcorn SP. You have my sympathy and condolences, but secretly I'm jealous because I know I live in Florida, but I'm not made for this state. I'm not made for this weather. I would rather be where you are in 14 inches of snow than be where I am sweating every time I go to get the mail from my mailbox in the middle of fucking winter. Mischief managed. So good to see you in here. Thank you for becoming a channel member. Storm Rider. All right, let's see. Scientology destroyed the movement. They just went into hiding, and now there is nothing to record, so no one is watching anymore. Storm Rider, I'm glad you mentioned that because I want to take an opportunity to strongly disagree with you, good sir, assuming you are a sir. Look, me and the Clearwater crew like to go to downtown Clearwater outside of the Flagland base on Friday nights to protest during Friday night graduation. And we've always been very jealous of the LA protesters, okay? Because Scientology won't even send us out any security guards to play with. We got Joey Meatballs will every now and then be there, but they've even realized we have way too much fun with Joey Meatballs, and they don't let him come and play with us anymore.
Aww.
And the LA protesters at least get some non-Scientology hired private security to have fun with, and I'm jealous. So what's my point? My point is the statement that you've made that they've gone into hiding and there's nothing to record. That could not be more true than downtown Clearwater. They stay away from us like we are the plague. We cannot get anyone to have any fun with, and yet we have a blast. We go out there with our honk. Do I have any signs here? No, they're in the living room. Honk if Scientology is a cult. We bring pizzas, we bring drinks, we bring chairs. Local people come out, they see we're live, they come out and they say hi to us. People come out and honk. It's so fun just to have like rows and rows of cars honking in front of the Fort Harrison Hotel in the Superpower building. And everyone inside knows this because we've got honk if Scientology is a cult. It's just fun. It's fun and it's inclusive, and that's what it was when Streets started the whole thing, and that's what it isn't in LA. In LA, it's a bunch of screaming at people who are walking by or eating lunch or anything. Oh, I got to tell you, the one thing that disgusts me more than anything about this homeless guy who shits in a bucket and is destroying the protester community. Guys, there are two foundations in existence that exist for one reason: to help people leave Scientology.
Oh God, I love
and
it.
Whether you like the people who are the board members of these foundations or not, both of these foundations are very successful in doing exactly what they were created to do. And this guy, Scott, DOA, says over and over and over again that both of these foundations are scams. He doesn't say, I don't like Aaron's foundation, so go support the other foundation. Or I don't like Claire's foundation, so go support Aaron's foundation. He says they're scams. How in the fuck can a guy who pretends to be out there to help people leave Scientology tell his audience every single day that the only two organizations in existence that are there to help people leave Scientology are scams and don't support them? And how the fuck can you protesters out there support a guy who says that every fucking day? Have you guys lost your mind? Like, are we living in the upside down world? Oh, by the way, Nora, I know your bread and butter is just constantly criticizing other people for what they do and don't do. But I got to tell you, hey, here's what Nora does. Hey, listen up. Hey, listen up. In 3 hours of work and for about $250, and with only 3 people, you need a president and a secretary and a treasurer. You, Nora, could create your own foundation to help people who are leaving Scientology. Now, I know that would require you to actually do something. I know that would require you to actually be responsible for something. And I know that's impossible for you. But I'm just saying, literally, it would take you 3 hours. Honestly, it could probably take you 30 minutes to fill out, to create your LLC with the state of Oregon where you live, and then to apply to the IRS for an employee identification number, and then to fill out your 1023 easy form for the IRS. It would take you probably an hour of work, $250 for an application fee, and it would take you 3 weeks to get your tax exempt status approval. And then you would be able to have your own foundation, but that would be tough for you, right? Because then you wouldn't be able to spend 18 hours a day live streaming about how incompetent and untrustworthy and incapable everyone associated with the Aftermath Foundation and the SPTV Foundation is, and how nobody should trust these people and nobody should support any of these people. And
this is
you
great.
see what I'm saying? All you do is criticize and hate and divide when you could actually do something productive. And so could Scott if he actually cared. Do you see what I'm saying? I feel like there was a point that I made and then I distracted myself onto that point and I forget the previous point that I was making. But that's okay. Let's get down to the comments. Oh, what was I saying? Damn it, what was I saying? I was talking about protesting in downtown Clearwater and including people. I lost my train of thought, guys, but that's okay. Ben says, I agreed with Streets. Thank you. Robot 1138. Many people left because of that dude. Stopped protesting. That's right. Now, guys, let's be honest. Human nature. Everyone slows down for the car wreck. They want to see how much, what happened. Got any bodies? Got any blood? Got any, what's going on there? So there's always going to be people willing to watch the train wreck chaos economy merchants. The train wreck. See, chaos merchants is a Scientology word, so I don't want to use that word. There's always going to be some people tuning in to watch the train wreck, the car crash, but not a single new person has shown up to join the protest movement in LA because it's disgusting, toxic, and dirty. And that's how it's destroyed. And that's sort of one thought that I wanted to say here is like, well, how can you say he destroyed it if he's out there doing it every day? Because the protest movement isn't about one person being out there. It's supposed to be about something that's sustainable, that will grow, that has goodwill, and that people want to support. And that's one of the reasons I'm just so proud to be out there on Friday nights with the Clearwater crew, which is Farrell Cheryl, Dusty Soda Fountain, Sarasota Jerry, Lori Plays, Erica, who's on here as a definite trouble source. And I'm going to literally like kick myself if I forgot anybody. Who else? There's some new people who I actually don't know their names who've been coming out and joining us regularly. The Clearwater experiment, Scientology completely alone, and we go out there and have fun anyway, has shown people will still support the protest movement if you're doing it in a way that is not so hateful and divisive. Okay, let's see. The day that he interviewed Patrick Perry, my gut said that he was bad news. Yeah. Xenu Golf Club. Have you lost weight, Aaron? Looking good. Yeah, I'm down about 6 pounds in the last 2 days. I earlier. Do agree with Streets and your assessment. Thank you, good Juju. Lisa Cunningham, you do. Society is going. I'm saying. Constant. Oh, the hunting is going up to become dangerous, and someone is going to get hurt. Is going to become dangerous, and someone is going. You mentioned that Laura FM had her van like horrific yesterday. And I'm telling you, in my opinion, it's not. I'd put any amount of money on the fact. It's because for DOA, so much and division and animosity and bad will that it brings in dangerous elements. I mean, guys, DOA, Scott, has even threatened to counter protest former second-gen Scientologists who are protesting the cult they grew up in and escaped. Fuckers support this guy. Well, for those of you who do, it is absolutely unconscionable. And it's why I wanted to do this video. It's why I wanted to signal boost and amplify Streets' sentiments. Because it's important. I think the protest movement and the protest community is important. I think it's important enough not to let one homeless bucket shitter destroy the whole thing. And this won't be my last word on it. This won't be my last word on it. You know, you guys, look, this is what I do. I'm here every day. I'm here to be Scientology's worst nightmare, to try and be, and to try and encourage as many other people to do the same. I'll tell you what, you know who really is Scientology's worst nightmare? People who are protesting effectively in a way that gets other people to want to join in and help. That really is Scientology's worst nightmare. And it worked for a while. It worked again. Marilyn Honig. See you, Marilyn. Good to see you. Love you all. Streets does more than almost anyone, is universally respected for it. Ridiculous that people would flood his chat with throwaway accounts making demands. Yeah. And crazy that someone like DOA, who destroyed the movement that Streets started, would direct his audience to go and do that. The guy is not here for anyone but himself.
Yeah, like that's.
Joanne Pasantes, thank you very much. Oh, Janine Pasantes.
That, like, if this is something that is just
from this,
I'm sorry, if this is something that is just now new to you, that's who DOA is. I don't know what to tell you.
I know. Says 86 was around before the protest started. Exactly. 86 was around when it was just the three amigos. 86, yeah, trying to call 86 a plant is insane. Yes, if Scientology plants want to donate hundreds or thousands of dollars to Scientology streamers, Scientology, please send in 100 plants. Please send in more plants. I didn't finish reading the comment. 86 was around before the protests started. It's silly to keep saying he's a plant. Scapegoating people will only make it come back on you eventually. Yes, eventually, absolutely. And by the way, when you're under investigation for calling in SWATs on yourself,
I
don't even want to tell you what I'm going to do. If it turns out that the investigation reveals that Scott was arranging for himself and other protests to be...
Oh, damn. Oh, no, Scott, you wouldn't. Tell me you wouldn't. Oh, Scott.
Swatted. I don't even want to say. Part of me hopes it's true, so that we can finally put an end to this dark chapter of the Scientology protesting movement. Part of me hopes it's true.
Oh, no.
Constant stream. Streets always shows receipts on where money sent to him goes. The other one, not so much. That's true. Now, I'm not really one for demanding that people show receipts for where money that's sent to them freely goes. Like, that's not the sort of... I don't know that that's fair. Has Streets done that? I mean, that's incredible. That's incredible. And generally speaking, on social media platforms, you know, if a viewer is going to send someone money, they shouldn't really ask for a receipt. I mean, I think that's mismanaging expectations. So I don't want to be a hypocrite. And you know, I've certainly never shown receipts for anything people sent me money for. I don't think that's necessary. But if Streets has actually done that, I mean, that's incredible. Okay, Pippi Longstocking. Aaron, I disagree, but in a loving way. I believe Scott is a plant. He's caused so much damage in this community. I will admit that I, of anyone, probably have the biggest blind spot for who is or is not a plant, because it's so hard for me to believe that anybody is a plant. And the truth is, the best plant would be the one that you don't even suspect. So, but if everyone knows that the best plant is the one that you wouldn't suspect, then the second best plant would be the one everyone suspects. And so it becomes one of these like double fake out deals, and you never really know, which is why where I tend to come down on things is that it doesn't really matter who's a plant, you know, unless you're sharing information privately with people that could get you like thrown in jail and used against you. Like, we're all literally live streaming everything that we're doing and saying, you know, that's relevant. But like I said, guys, no one's got bigger blind spots on who the fuck might or might not be OSA than me. So I'm not the right person to really comment on it. I certainly can't say he's not a plant. The funny thing is, in the history of Scientology, we can look back decades and see people who came into a community and were exposed as actual plants, like Dave LeBeau, for example. And even other examples of people who were sent in to infiltrate Mike Rinders and his wife's life. It's not like when these plants get called out as plants, they just roll over and say, I'm plants. They run around the community and try to get everyone really upset that anyone would dare accuse them of being a plant. So the problem is, guys, without being able to literally, you know, catch someone on film taking an envelope of cash from a Scientology cutout, how can you ever prove whether someone is or is not a plant? All you can do is look at their actions. And I will admit, Scott's actions and how he's destroyed the Scientology community could not possibly be closer to what a Scientology plant, you know, would do.
And the same thing of it is that Scott doesn't like work for anyone but himself. But yet, because the way he conducts himself, and the way he doesn't want to be second to anyone else, he opens himself up to accusations of being a plant, the very thing that he's calling all the people out for.
Good to see you, Jerry. Hope you're feeling good. Looking forward to seeing you out there on one of these Friday nights. Okay, let's see. All right, someone wants to go to war. I'm going to bring it up because, you know, he's a friend of mine. Does it matter to you? Not to me. The only reason 86 followed through with paying for Danny's attorney is I asked him to follow through with what he had offered. Danny fired the attorney, and then Scott hired him for Josiah. Oh, thank God. I'm sorry. I thought you were about to talk shit about 86. I thought you were saying, I thought your first sentence was taking a shot. I'm sorry. That's why I said I thought you were about to go to war. Okay. Does it matter to you? Not to me. I got it. I see. You're saying it's not fair for anyone to even blame 86 for paying for Danny's attorney in the first place, because he didn't even want to, but you asked him to, and then he did. That's right. And then Scott went and hired the exact same attorney. Okay, good. I get it. Sorry. Karen McCourt, Streets does not play. Go good. Yes. Kenny Adcox, glad to see Aaron is back on the air tonight. It's good to be back on, Kenny. Thank you for joining me. Mischief Managed. Scotty Boy is jealous and sad because he's a freaking toddler, just like that other hate monger. Uh-oh. Little Scotty is angry.
Little Scotty is angry.
Yes, indeed. All right. Brent Stoughton. So glad you're back. Just keep going, man. Brent, that's all I was ever going to do. Just keep going. Daniel Snyder. Lydia is quick on her feet. I mean, pause. Margie Barr. I don't think it's dead. I think you're talking about the protest movement. Calling it dead, it's a little bit of a headline. There's nuance to it, as we've discussed. I agree with you. It's not dead. It's not dead. But it is dying. Okay, Panko. But some creators want soap opera drama.
Yep.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it's because it's the only way they can pay their bills. To be perfectly honest, I don't even say that
Yeah.
just condescendingly. I actually mean it. If someone realizes that
I wonder if he realizes how much his camera shakes.
the only way they can make enough money to actually pay their rent and groceries is to follow a proven successful formula of ginning up as much hate as possible.
I don't think it's my.
Why wouldn't they keep doing it? It also shows that they're not.
Maybe it's
they're
the
not
fans
here
that I have going. It's
to help
actually
expose
making this
Scientology. Like I said,
look like it's shaking the way that
Fuck
it
me
is,
more.
but I don't think so.
I do videos about Scientology. You do videos about me. We're not the same. Okay. Niche.
Oh
Polska.
goodness.
Scott.
Here we go
Scott knows
again.
nothing about Scientology. That's right. Unfortunately, he's hitched his wagon to a former Scientologist who's giving all of his credibility right now. Once she leaves him,
My computer did something weird.
Once she does,
and I'm hoping I'm going to be getting some
Scott
answers here on
I promise you that.
And why it just did that.
That's my opinion. I think that's a complete fact. You know, all he has to do is stand around screaming about things and pretend he's doing it on behalf of a former Scientologist because his girlfriend's a former Scientologist, and he basically steals the credibility of his girlfriend. And I personally think it's absolutely disgusting. And I personally pray to the God I don't believe in every single day that Laura will leave DOA. And yeah, sorry, Laura. That's just being honest. Why be normal? Amen, Aaron. Amen. Constance June, the protester no longer protests. He just sits in a car and every once in a while yells at seniors who are hunched over. Nero James, billion-year SP. Aaron spitting facts tonight. Pippi, streets spits facts. Deb, the battle must be against Scientology. Yep. Lady Victoria, I love streets. Shirley, Scott has money to fly to DC, rent a car, etc., but he wants streets to fund legal representation. Exactly. Now, let's be honest. I'll tell you the other reason I really wanted to do this video. Scott is terrified of streets. Streets calling Scott out in that live stream must have been the worst thing that's happened to Scott in a long time. And it doesn't surprise me that Scott would have called Streets up and be like, I'm so sorry for bringing you into it. I know that the real trouble is with Aaron, and I'm sorry, Streets. Please don't mention my name in the video again. I apologize. Please don't do that to me again. And so since Streets left his video up, and I decided I wanted to amplify the message. Shit, I got off track. Let me go back to the comment. Scott has money to fly to DC, rent a car, but he wants streets to fund. Oh, that was my point. Up until now, Scott has always selected me as his target for complaining why I don't push certain protesters' fundraisers. Even though Streets has a bigger channel than me, and Streets is the one who started the protest movement, he knows that if he tries to blame and shame Streets will fucking end him in a second. And Streets is in the same city, and I'm in Clearwater. And Scott knows that I have, because I've announced this on my channel, I try to keep as much of the drama bullshit channel, the drama bullshit off of my channel as possible, because I lose subscribers every time that I do, and that hurts a YouTuber's feelings. I don't care about that anymore. I've been losing subscribers anyway, okay? I don't give a shit about subscribers, okay? And so what was amazing is that this was the first time that Scott was ever stupid enough to try to be like, I'm going to drag Streets into this as well. I think he actually thought that Streets would cave to that kind of pressure, and then I would be the one having to deal with Streets talking shit about me in a video, when it's like, how stupid do you think Streets is, Scott? How stupid do you think he is? And so, yeah, it's not that. Anyway, let me go back to the comment again. I keep meaning to jog my memory as to what my point.
Of course, he thinks that Streets is stupid because Scott is the smartest man in the room.
But he wants Streets to fund legal representation. Oh, that was actually my point. Yeah. See, Scott doesn't want to be able to raise the money for the things that are needed because he wants to use these things as an opportunity to bash everyone else who won't raise the money. So, for example, I did a video sort of back in the day, weeks, months, I don't know. I'm losing track of time these days, complaining about protesters behaving badly, getting into trouble, and then coming to me, asking me to ask my audience to give them money when they're the ones who fucked up. And I was obviously talking about Nance Drew because Nance Drew was protesting like a maniac and getting into a staff member's face and made physical contact with them. That's terrible. You can't do that. I had already helped raise all the money that Danny needed. Oh, and I said some of these protesters, they could have just wrapped all their legal problems up with like $500 and a no contest plea and just gone on their merry way instead of asking our community for $30,000 for legal fees to fight something that like they were in the wrong. They were in the wrong. Why should our community give money to someone to fight something that they were in the wrong for? But instead of just letting it go, right? I was obviously talking about Nance Drew and not Danny. How could I be talking about Danny when I'd already helped raise all the money that Danny needed? I was obviously talking about
I don't
Nance
really
Drew.
know who all these
But
people
instead,
are.
Scott went on a roll for days and days and
Except
days
for
and
Scott.
days, trying to humiliate me for saying that Danny should have taken a plea deal. Because Danny didn't take a plea deal, he moved forward and he won. But you see, it's an example of Scott just inventing a false narrative to create division. Scott, me calling out Scott for calling out 86 GOP and Rib Guy is when Scott said, uh-oh, I didn't realize there was going to be someone in this community who wouldn't let me get away with my bullshit. So I guess that's the guy I've got to go to war with. And that was the beginning of the end of the protester movement, guys. That was the beginning of the end of the protester movement. And by the way, who is out there every single day now criticizing Nance Drew for asking for money and saying that she's the one who screwed up and that she should have just taken a plea deal? Well, what she did. Scott. Scott is now saying the exact same thing I was saying, and he was trying to drag me for it the whole time, but now he's saying the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Every single day with this guy, it's just about who am I going to try to destroy? Where am I going to draw the line? Who am I going to call out? Anyway, welcome to my TED Talk, folks. Thank you for coming. Oh, wait, that's Nora's line, isn't it? Sorry, Nora. Sorry. Okay, just a Northern girl. You know Nora's firing up her channel as we speak for a 5-hour live stream. She is off her rocker. I got to be honest, because I get a little fired up and I get a little pissed off, I will be pretty fiery and use strong language about Nora. I got to be honest, I'm genuinely worried about Nora. Like, I genuinely am worried about her. I am worried that she is either going to have a heart attack or end up in a mental institution. What she is doing, forget whether it's healthy for the community. It's not healthy for her. And this is what she's doing now is really just a different brand, a different version of what she was doing before that I was trying when she was still volunteering for the SPTV Foundation, trying to get her to stop doing. I said, every single day, Nora, you're doing videos about Discord. You're doing videos about Reddit. You're doing videos about Zero Dark Tony. I said, first of all, it's bad for the community. But more importantly, it's horrible for you.
Oh, wow. I didn't know I could do it this way. That's funny.
You could be literally with your personality and your sense of humor. There's no reason you could not have the exact same success on YouTube that I have had. I'm willing to help you do it. If you could please stop doing all the negativity. Because honestly, it's why I had stopped doing videos with Nora. Because I did not want to be someone who was promoting someone who was just every single day doing nothing but negativity. And also, let's be honest, Nora doesn't let anybody talk, and it drives me absolutely fucking insane. So I stopped doing videos with her because she never lets anybody talk, and it's always negative. I wanted to help Nora figure out how to do real content that people would really want to watch, that would help her grow her subscribers. And she just could not bring herself to get out of that death spiral of negativity. Unfortunately for her, it's kind of working right now. And that's why I'm afraid she will never stop until she has a heart attack or ends up in a mental hospital. And I guess I don't want to, come off as preachy and finger waggy here, but for the people who are enabling her, I'm just saying, do so at your own risk and don't say that I didn't warn you. That's all I'm saying. Daniel Sander gifted 5 growing up in Scientology channel memberships. That's amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Verge Revo, we support you, Aaron. Thank you very much. Crestel 42, I take no sides in drama. I support people for the work they do. Jane Doer, Aaron, you're awesome. Thank you. Jane Doer, thank you for what you do. Your fans appreciate it. Thank you. Lori Plays, Aaron, this Friday is our 1-year anniversary. Is it really, Lori? Okay, well, let's try to put out the word. It's only Monday right now. Let's try to put out the word, guys. If you live in the Tampa Bay area, we will be downtown in Clearwater, Florida, at the corner of, I don't even know what the cross street is, but across from the Fort Harrison Hotel, in front of Scientology's Superpower building. And we're going to have a great time. I hope as many people as possible will come out and join us, or at least say hi or drive by and honk. We love the honks. It's all about the honks. And we'll see you guys there. Farrell Cheryl, they've hidden Tampa Brad from us too. Anna from Canada, totally different environment in Clearwater. Inclusive, yes. Just a northern girl. Aaron, keep pushing out the content. Nobody does it better. Thank you. Cody Quinn, I'm late, but exactly what Streets said. Look how few people protest now in LA. They're scared to be accused of being a bad actor. That's right. I'll tell you what, anyone that wants to come out and join us in Clearwater, you will be marked safe from being accused of being a bad actor or a Scientology plant. Letha Faye. Hey, Aaron, I have an unrelated question for you. Are you ever going to try to get on the city of Clearwater board? Basically, are you going to run for city council? No, I am definitely not going to do that again. I do not need that smoke. I do not need that heat. I do not need any more articles about me in the Tampa Bay Times. I do not need to be embarrassed or humiliated with my private life any more than has already occurred. And I think I like how hot the seat is right here. I don't need it to be any hotter. In all seriousness, the answer is no. But I'll tell you what, guys. I'll tell you what. There is, I'll share a little secret with you guys. I'm going to guess there's a better than 50% chance that the next time the Clearwater City Council has their elections, I'm hoping that Mark Bunker will take another run at it. And I'll tell you what. The last time Mark Bunker ran for Clearwater City Council, he lost by a slim margin. The election rules have changed. The deck, it will be stacked against him much stronger this time. They've introduced new legislation to create runoff elections so that if somebody wins a 4-way race with less than 50% of the votes, there's going to be a runoff election. And that makes sure that the big party PAC money has an opportunity to make their candidate win. But I'll tell you what, the last time Mark Bunker ran for Clearwater City Council, the only platform or creator that was able to successfully raise money for him was me.
Well, good
that
for you.
That is not true anymore. If Mark Bunker runs for city council again, we could have 10, 15 creators in promoting his campaign every single day. And you know what? If we raise enough money, because a lot of times politics, guys, it just comes down to how much money can you raise? Because, and of course, it's how you put that money to work. But that's what I mean. I think this community could get Mark Bunker back into office. And that's much better than me getting into office anyway, because he's not nearly as controversial and scandalous as I am. So let's just let's get behind Mark Bunker if he chooses to run next time. And yeah, that's my answer to that one. Thank you very much. Martha Meringue. I have no protesters I follow. I watch Natalie and I see if anything is worth watching. There you go. Ben says, I always followed and liked Scott until I heard him threaten to bullhorn you and others. And that was the last straw for me. Yes. It's unfortunate that wasn't the last straw for more people.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, I'll throw the gauntlet down right now. Scott, I invite you to come to Clearwater and try to bullhorn me. I think you're going to be surprised.
Cause see, like Scott is gonna do one or two things with this. He's either gonna say the gauntlet has been thrown, or whatever the term is, or he's just going to tell you to go fuck yourself. And he's like, oh, I don't have time for this. Because he's pussy. And you never, I don't know, you never know which Scott you're eventually going to get is the problem. I mean, we do know that he is willing to get himself arrested and have to spend the night in jail. We know that from the 1776 RM, at least, and I think that he's managed to do it a couple of times while he's been in like either Chicago and LA protesting.
How that works out for you, but I'm here for it. If you want to go on the chaos economy train, you want to ride the chaos economy train with me, I will ride it with you, big fella. I will ride it with you, and we will see how it goes. We'll call it SPTV WWE. Come to Clearwater, baby. Bring your friends. Bring Henri. You bring your worst. I'll bring my worst. And we'll go to fucking war in downtown Clearwater. What do I have to lose? You know what I'm saying? Let's do it, big fella. Get on board. Get on board the Chaos Economy Train, conducted by Scott Hochstetter. Rachel, I'm here for the mission. Moonchild Pink. People got too familiar and got into and are very judgmental. Yep. Jamie
really all I have to say.
Go AA Ron, saying what we've all been thinking. Penny Skies, it was very strange how Scott entered this community. Sharon Paris, it seems like when Scott went off the deep end, it destroyed what all the protesters had been doing. He drove a wedge between them all. Yes, that is exactly it. Sarah Stiles, I don't necessarily think he's a plant, but I do think some of the chatters are paid by Scientology to stir up shit. I'm so glad you mentioned that, because that is actually even a more important point. Even if Scott wasn't himself a plant, the live chats are absolutely chock full with Scientology plants. And even me, who's got the biggest blind spot out there for who is or is not OSA, even I have recognized that the fact that all of us in this community do live streams, it is the perfect feeding ground for making the space muddy and disgusting and destroying. And destroying the space by making it muddy and disgusting and toxic so that nobody wants to join. You guys have all seen it. You're in one creator's live stream and you've got a dozen anonymous accounts being like, did you hear what this person said about this person? That's what you see. You see it. What you don't see is that 80% of the shit that they're saying someone said or did is not true. Okay? The live chats, and this is not to cast any aspersions on you honest participants in the live chat community. You are the live chat community, but you guys are the ones in the community. So you see who these accounts are, that they're online all day. They're in everyone's chat, just talking shit. And by the way, Nora is the most susceptible to this because, well, okay, I got to watch my insults. Nora is the most susceptible to this. Anybody can feed Nora a comment or a super chat about anyone else with the most fallacious bullshit, and Nora will bring it up, read it to everyone, and react to it as if it were true. Everyone knows, all the OSA trolls and operatives know that Nora will literally say anything about anyone as long as you put it in a comment, and she'll react to it. She'll even do it to her friends. You could take someone who's a friend of Nora. This is why I've never understood why Nora does this. You could say the most horrific, disgusting, insulting thing about one of Nora's friends. She will bring it up on her screen just to tell you that you're wrong. It's like, no, what are you doing? Why would you broadcast false information about one of your friends to your fucking audience? Just ignore the comment, Nora. Or even better, tell your moderators that you don't put up with that kind of shit in your live chat and delete it. Nora's live chat has become literally the OSA cesspool of YouTube. She is the ultimate OSA patsy. And I'm telling you, OSA is going to drive that woman into an insane asylum or into the hospital. It's unbelievable. Okay, NYC girl. Scott is being investigated for calling SWATs on himself. His camera was always perfectly pointed at himself. I'll say this right now. I truly, truly, truly believe that Scott will be found guilty of swatting himself and other protesters. Now, the truth is, he'd rather swat himself because it gets tons of views. It's like if Scientology was the one calling in the SWATs guys, they would have called them in on fucking everybody. They wouldn't just call them in on Scott. And I know Scott's not literally the only one, but it's like, come on, guys. Come on. It's ridiculous. Now, I guess there's also another possibility, which is this is the possibility, but then I'm going to debunk it. That Scott just has so many people who hate his guts that you could have people from all over the country calling in SWATs on him. Here's why I don't think that's true. They know Scott loves it.
It's a good point.
Not going to SWAT him. It's Scott's.
It never occurred to me that Scott was doing this to himself. I don't think.
Don't shoot me, officer. My hands are up.
It seemed weird that he would.
From my door handle. Is it okay?
People would want to waste the time and energy to do it.
You're doing him a favor by swatting him. He loves it.
It's shocking to me that
getting swatted.
That he's actually accused of doing it to himself.
Okay. Mischief managed. Streets mentions Scotty. Scotty fills his shit bucket.
Oh my.
Denise, I will never forgive Scott for what he did to JDSA. Scott was jealous that 86 GOP was giving him money and not Scott. Denise, I'm glad you mentioned that. I was thinking about JDSA just the other day. I really liked JDSA. He was out there doing his protesting the absolute best way it can be done out there in Denver, all by himself. And he went to LA, and unfortunately, there was a bunch of drama with one of Jay's moderators, and Scott ended up pulling me into that drama, and that ended up creating a little bit of a rift between me and Jay. But the truth is, Scott was the source of all that division. Jay is a perfect example of a guy who was exactly what the Scientology protest movement needed. And Scott managed to label him as a bad actor, label his mods as bad actors, label anyone who was his friend as a bad actor. And Jay basically at the point was like, I don't need this fucking shit. I don't need this shit. I was here for the Scientology protesting. I wasn't here to be at war with these fucking crazy lunatics. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because Jay was a good guy. And I don't even know if he runs his channel anymore. I just have no idea, because I think he changed the name of his channel. But anyway, I'm glad you mentioned him. Thank you for that. Sandy R., I still haven't forgiven him for when he thought Laura was a Russian spy. Well, I mean, Laura's forgiven him, so you might as well. Renee Noel, yay, I miss Jay too.
Well, because I think he's
there's a
dating Laura now. Lara, Laura.
Warrant support. Yes, and the truth is, even though I helped raise money for Danny, because I thought that technically what was done to Danny was unjust. I do not think it's okay that Danny is constantly provoking physical reactions with people out there. It's not okay. There's even the thing that he eventually got off, the thing with Scooter Guy. I'm sorry, what Danny did with Scooter Guy was not okay. You got a 70-year-old guy just standing on the sidewalk. Who gives a shit? There's no reason to walk up to that fucking guy. There's no reason to act like he poses some, like it was not okay. And moving forward, if someone is honestly initiating confrontations in a physical way, not only will I not support the fundraisers, I will call them out as protesters who are harming the entire movement, because it's really, really, really not acceptable. Okay, let's see. Ham it up again. Truth equals relief. Sir Crepitus, so good to see you in here. No one's been targeted more than fucking Sir Crepitus by this piece of shit. Sir Crepitus has been brutalized by Scott. And I'm just not going to stand for it. I'm not going to stand for it. And I hope more and more of you out there in the actual protest community will stop standing for it as well. You guys are condoning behavior that's destroying everything you guys pretend to be there for. You know,
Yeah.
you guys are lying to yourselves if you're there to help people leave Scientology. You're fucking lying to yourselves. And even if you're like, well, we're not here to help people leave Scientology. We're here to keep people from getting tricked into going into Scientology. Okay. All right.
Sure.
Keep doing what you're doing then. Okay, doesn't matter to you, not
Got
to
some
me.
AW root
Bad
beer.
actors, please say hi. Hey. KDC, I think we all needed this tonight. Yeah, I needed it. That's for sure. Ms. Kim, that's why I don't allow negative talk in my chat about other creators. It clears up the water. Ms. Kim, I'm glad you said that. Here's the thing. I'm going to say it right up front. I heavily moderate my live chat and my comment section. It's not because I can't handle people saying mean things about me. Say mean things about me somewhere else. I don't give a shit. It's because OSA's strategy for any place where they don't want people to go is to make it as dirty and toxic and messy and uninviting as possible. I do not allow people to do that in my space because that's what OSA wants. Now, it doesn't mean everyone who tries to do that in my space is OSA. It means I will not allow my live chat and my comment section to become something that is repelling to the people the eyeballs I'm trying to attract to Scientology content. I don't care if you like me. I don't care if you hate me. This is my platform, my space. I'm doing here what I want. The First Amendment is for the fucking government.
Creator is allowed to do that.
A YouTube channel or a Facebook page or anything like
people
that. I've
will
got free speech.
get mad and scream about
and the
free
government
speech.
can't put you in jail for it. But I can sure as fuck moderate the hell out of what you say here or even your ability to say it here. That's why the live chat is so heavily moderated. These spaces, I mean, I'm speaking for myself, but I'd like to be able to, comment on the movement.
But I mean, ultimately, he's allowed to do what he feels is necessary
to succeed
with his live stream.
Have to be spaces that aren't muddied up and disgusting and toxic. Now, if you're someone like Nora, who actually just loves the chaos, like Nora has basically been calling out Zero Dark Tony as a Scientology, paid agent and whatever. And
it looks like this is about over.
Sent Nora to the mental hospital a few times, and yet she literally lets this guy come into her live chat and insult her and shit on her, and she will even bring his comments up on the screen and fight with Zero Dark Tony live in her live streams. Okay, that is Nora allowing her space to become Osa's wet dream. And you think you're doing something? What do you think you're doing? What do you think you're doing? Like, I don't know how you think that's healthy. Anyway, I'm getting off on a little bit of a tangent. I'm responding to Miss Kim's comment. That's why I don't allow any negative talk. That's right. You want to talk negatively about people? Do it in private. Don't go to a public space just to be like, hey, now you'd be like, hey, Aaron, that's what you're doing about Scott. Okay, fair point. Fair point. I am doing it about Scott, but for a very specific reason.
Well, it's like sometimes it's got to be done.
So glad you're back. Thank you, Diana. Susie, the spicy little princess. That is an amazing name. Thank you for becoming a channel member. You must have gotten one of the gifted memberships. Miss Kim, very appreciated. I like your non-toxic chat. Thank you, Miss Kim. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. I thought that for a while. I actually thought that for the next few months, I was just not going to do live streams. I was just going to do pre-recorded uploads to prevent the absolute shit show in the comments section. But you know what? I think we got it under control. I don't care if the comments section becomes a shit show. I've got moderators. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. We're back.
Well, you go, dude. You go.
Back to business as usual. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you, as always, to everyone who watches until the very end. And I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos,
oh goodness. Wow. Interesting. I'm wondering. Wonder if Tommy has gone live yet. Oh, Biden attended a New Orleans prayer service. Interesting. Well, you know what? Apparently DOA is still live. Let's see what DOA is having to say for himself. Oh, he's not talking right now.
They really had this shit blacked out, man.
Is that
Damn,
music that's probably going to
crazy.
get me copy
For
struck?
nothing. That's why the media was hungry for some type of action. They had 3 counter protesters and a bunch of chuds, and that was it. So uneventful. Look at that.
Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max.
Wonder where he's on his way to now. He might be on his way back to maybe LA.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about you or what you got to say. Nobody cares. Okay, Marine, you didn't pay attention. Put user in timeout. You're going to get a 10-minute for that. No more colors. Please. Please, thank you.
So I just got done watching the video Streets LA. Oh boy. At least we got some music here. Do a little hip hop dance. Maybe the chicken dance. It's also the swing dance. I just don't know. Just reading through the comments here.
God damn, Chugi. Holy shit, Chugi. It's been a long time since your ass has been in the chat.
Yep.
I go everywhere, Chewy.
He finally noticed that I'm in the chat.
This is my country. The world is my playground. I don't need to be anywhere. I can be everywhere. All I know is that I see some fucking amazing shit. Things that people never get to see ever. Have I though? Chewy.
Oh, Scott.
If I cause division and divide everywhere I go, why do I have so many people following me and watching? Why do I have so many people who support me full time doing this? Chugi?
A sucker is born every minute.
Huh? You weren't a main player in Streamer Wars, and so you got voted off the island, bub. And it's tough. Maybe if you had some conversations and just didn't talk shit, you might have a big channel. Well, tough shit. You're yeah, it's tough. It's okay though. You'll be fine. Everyone, you know, we can't all win. We can't all be on first team. You know, I played second team a lot. But here you are. I'm not in your chat. I haven't even seen you for 2 years. But thank you. Thank you. I actually forgot who you were. But here you are again. Miserable. But it's all right. Cuts called out Ashton Kutcher the other day. I actually want to see if I can play this on the phone.
Limited devices has been reached. Please select and delete a device, then try again.
I bet Chugi is Vaughn Fun recipient. See, like, this is the kind of, like, his chat is doing the same kind of shit that he does. Like, how do I prove that I'm not that? Like, I don't even know who that is. I have no idea who that is.
Search for your vehicle on your device and select it once it is found. Search for your vehicle on your device and select it once it is found.
You know what? I'm just gonna lean into it.
Confirm the picture displayed on sync matches the picture displayed on your device. For your safety, please stay alert to changing road conditions and use Sync's voice activated features while your vehicle is in motion.
Alright. He's not doing anything but showing where he's gonna be parking overnight. Alright, I think we're done with you.
Sources. Sorry. There we go. All right, here we go.
I'm assuming that this is probably where he's sleeping, but who knows? Because he doesn't want to be a really valuable, contributing person to a society that, you know, doesn't live out of a van and shits in a bucket. Oh, goodness. That's just crazy. It's just crazy. Yeah, I mean, no, my stream was never as big as his. But you know, it's like I was working a typical job, and I couldn't just like stop what I was doing, you know, to be going all over the place and streaming the way that he was. That was just kind of the way it is, you know, and it's like if you're going to be a responsible human being that, you know, gets healthcare for yourself, isn't living off of federal funds, then yeah. You're not you know, I haven't been living off of food stamps like he most likely has been. I mean, there's almost no way that he supports himself without doing that. And you know, he was able to do something that I couldn't do. You know, he does drive, you know. I don't drive. I couldn't go all over the country and go live on places. You know, I've never been this big time streamer, but I'm by and large okay with it because it seems like all of these streamers, they become locals. They do. All right. And they're just, most of them, it just seems like they're all just grifters and locals, and they just, you know, and then some of them, they live in vans and they shit in buckets. Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, God bless America. God bless the Scots of the world. You know, because as I often like to say, it takes all of us working together to make the kind of universe that we want. It's small and it's vast. And you know what? You may seem small and you may seem significant. But you know what? I suppose we do need the Scots of the world. He did help make 1776 RM impotent. And that drastically reduced their ability to really do anything. So, yeah. So God bless Scott. God bless America. God bless President Trump. And you all have a wonderful evening. Bye.